Hey everybody, my name is Cheri. Welcome to my stamp studio. So if you caught my video earlier today, then you saw my unboxing of the things that I have ordered from my first order from all of the things in the catalog. And this is the card that I chose to make from the things as I was taking them out of the box that caught my eye first. So of course, all of the things in my first order caught my eye. That's why I ordered them first, but this is the stuff that I like the most. So a couple of things before I get started. If you go over and watch that video, then you can see all of the things that are my thank you gifts for May. I do have some extra added specials. If you order from, well, May 3rd through the 6th, it's past the 3rd, so you have until the 6th to add those extra ones on, and I do show them all at the beginning of that video, so you don't have to watch the whole thing. The second video I will do after this, if you're in my card club or you're interested in my subscription card club, I'm going to show you what comes in the May card club. And if you need a catalog, let me know. And finally, there is a fabulous joining special this month. So if you'd like to be a member of my team, make sure you're on my email list. That way you always know. You'll know the thank you gifts, you'll know about the specials, and you will know about all of the free stuff that you get this month from Stampin' Up! If you join my team, which includes all of the new in color stamp pads and all of the paper of the new in colors, and there's designer series paper and cardstock, I believe, and then the grid paper, plus all the stamp pads. It's about close to a $70 value. Then if you need a catalog and you're in the US and you don't have a demonstrator, let me know and I will send you one. So I have been on a specialty paper kick ever since, I think 2 retreats ago, we did specialty papers, and then we did them again at my last online retreat. So I have been loving specialty papers. So I kind of, when you want to do a bunch of cards quick and you want them to be beautiful, specialty papers are where you turn to because you don't have to do a lot of work and they just turn out beautifully for very little effort. So that's where I'm going to go with this one. So this is the new rose gold specialty paper. You get 6 sheets and there's 3 different versions of the rose gold specialty. So it has a pink tinge to it. It's very beautiful. And I'm just going to use a little piece of each of them for some die cuts. Those of you that did the online retreats, either both or just the last one, you could, you'll be able to see a lot of the new specialty papers in this and be able to substitute them for what we did in that retreat. This is distressed gold. We haven't had anything really like this. So it's white on the back, and then it does look distressed. It kind of looks like, if you're about the same age as me, probably mid-90s, late 90s, we used to put the oxidized paint on everything and kind of distress it ourselves. It kind of has that look to it. It's really pretty. It looks really pretty on this card. So for the suite on this card, I am going to go with, let me move this. My cats feel neglected today and they're kind of on the rampage. So they've hopped up here a couple of times. I don't want them to knock everything off. So for the suite on this, I am going to use, now that I can show you the inside of the catalog, makes life so much easier. And down underneath this video, I'll be able to have, hopefully the links are working. I'm going to use the texture. It should have a D, I feel like. Every time I say it, I want to say D. Texture Chic. Just Texture Chic. Sweet. So it includes the Season of Chic bundle. So the Season of Chic stamps. And then let's see if it has just the dies. This catalog's a little bit different. To see just the dies, you have to go to the back. Chic dies. So what if you are, I don't do them because our house isn't big enough and I've kind of covered all the walls as it is. But I know a lot of you do stamped art. Plus, you know, it's my job. So sometimes I like to leave it in my studio. But I know a lot of you do the framed art and you change it out. This is perfect for that. And I have seasonal stuff and I have a lot of leaves. But this has, like it has, you make each season of life even more beautiful. But it has shells, flowers, snowflakes, and leaves. So it's got all of this stuff. The dies are beautiful. I'm going to do the shells, so those are taken off. But you can see it has really pretty leaves that cut out. It has snowflakes that cut out. And it has flowers that cut out. And then it has the shapes that will cut out from the stamp set. It has, this is not shown to scale, so the stamps are much bigger than what they appear on the front. Has some great sentiments. It's really, really, really pretty. Wait till you see this paper, guys. It is so pretty. Move this. A lot of our suites, it was because I do that, my Try It class is what I'm really working on right now. The suites no longer come with ribbon and embellishments. It used to be really easy because I do a card for every suite, and now I have to like figure out what goes with what and make sure I've got everything in it. But this, if you buy just this suite here, it comes with the stamps, the dies, and both of the papers. So if you follow me, you know I like to refer to the paper as the paper and then the other side. So if you just looked at this paper, you would think that for most of these, like, look at that. Isn't that just gorgeous? That is such a pretty piece of paper. Like, you would think this is the paper. Like, here's the one I'm going to use on the card now. Like, this is just really pretty. I love the snowflake, that it is distressed and it's not blue and it's not purple. I like that they mixed it up. So here's this, but this is the other side because this is a specialty paper. So really, the side that you're supposed to use is over here. So that is the other side, and then this is the specialty. So pretty. So here's the piece we're using, but I could not use the shells if you're making a shell card. It's so, so pretty. So we're gonna make it work on both sides. And if you're in my club at some point, I haven't decided. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that. I haven't decided if it's going to be a club paper or if I'm going to do an online class, because this is just a fabulous suite. It may be an online class because the stamp set is beautiful as well. So that's the paper. Super, super pretty. And, you know, it's hard to tell when you're just looking at the catalog. And that's why I miss our in-person events so much, because we used to go in and we'd see the stuff before we ordered. We don't get to do that. Well, it's coming back. In fact, Stampin' Up's coming to Indianapolis. So I have another piece of specialty paper, which is shimmery white, which is my favorite of all of our papers. So I have Sahara Sand. I'll use that for our cardstock base. Plus that pack of paper has so many colors. So there's really no way, even if you're just kind of starting out, and you only have like 6 or 7 ink pads, more than likely you have some of the colors that are included in it. So here's this paper. This is the specialty side, and here's the other side. So I want to be able to use both sides. So all I did was I just tore it. Just kind of down the middle. So just tear it. And we have these. So then you can flip it over, and then you have one side that has polka dots with the specialty and one side that has the shells. And then you can just decide which, this is how I did it. I decided which side had more shells because it has these white sides. You could also put it through a folder because you can see it has this wood grain in it. I didn't just because time. So I'm going to stick it on just like this. And for this card, I'm going to use Seal Plus because I'm going to tape my ribbon on. So you really, if you have both of your adhesives laying here, then you don't have to use Seal Plus for this part. Let's put this on here. This was cut 5 1/4 by 4, so still just the standard size. It's got a little gap showing there, but that's okay because we're going to cover that up. So there's that. And let's open this up. I'm going to use one of the sentiments, and I'm going to use 2 colors of ink, Sahara Sand and Petal Pink. It says, wishing you the best birthday ever. I'm just going to do sand on sand. And I'm going to take one of the shells that comes in the stamp set, just add it down here to the corner. So now our inside's super pretty. I laid all my dies on top of my paper. And then I'm going to stamp both of the shells. So there's that shell. And that shell. Sahara Sand does dry a little bit lighter than what it originally stamps. I'm going to take my Petal Pink, and you want to take your pad and squish it down. So you have some ink on the lid that you can work with. And then I'm going to take my Wink of Stella because this is going to be a really shimmery card all the way around. Got all that fun shimmer paper. I'm just going to kind of add just hints of color. I don't need a ton, 30. And because I'm adding a little bit over the sand because this is a Wink of Stella, if you haven't used it before, it's filled with, it's not so much glitter as it's just shimmer. It's just a light shimmer. When you use it with an ink pad, then it becomes any color. So on its own, it's just clear shimmer. Just gonna kind of get a little bit darker right here, you know, where shells are kind of dark. Right there. My daughter's in Hawaii right now. So she last night sent us lots of pictures of all the little sea friends that she was finding on the beach. Yeah, she's almost 28, but it said, look at all the sea friends that I have found. So got those. Now we're just gonna cut out all of these with the dies. So I'm gonna first trim these out. And then there's just one die that will cut these. So I'm gonna trim these in half. Then I will show you, I'm gonna do, this one goes on here. And then it didn't matter, I just picked some of, I have the rose golds and I just did 2 of the same because these are really pretty small. And then this is kind of like a meshy thing. It comes in with the dies for this set. And I'm gonna run it through on here, but I'm gonna show you how I did that one. And then the rest of them were just one pass through. So there's no big secret to that, but I will show you how I do that after I do these the first time. Move all this over. Okay, so for this one, I wanted to go through it. The first time I did it, I just rolled it through once. And I like to roll my things through once so I know how to tell you guys how to use them. But this is specialty paper and you want it to cut because you don't want to waste it. It cut fine, but I did have to poke it all through. So what I want to do with this, and I also don't like to waste my time, so I didn't want to have to do this just on its own pass because there's 2 of those. So here's what you do. You put them far enough apart that you can hold this, but you have to make sure to hold it down. So we're going to send this through. Keep your hands here. This is just a little time-saving tip both ways because we're not going to have to poke these. I'm not going to roll this yet because I don't want it to bounce. So there's once, twice, and then once more. So that's now gone through 3 times, and 3 was plenty, and that hasn't moved. If you don't hold on to that second shell, it's going to move a little bit, and because it's cutting out the shell, if it moves at all, then it's not going to cut it out right. So now this is still perfect where we laid it. So we have our shell. And then when you pick this up, it does make kind of a mess. But see, it's all come out. So it gives it, and it did it, the first time I did it, I just did it on regular cardstock. It gives it kind of a, because it breaks down a lot of the fiber because a lot of the paper's cut. So if it was gold on both sides, I would tell you could save this for sequins. It wouldn't make a great sequin or shaker stuff because it's white on the other side. But see, now you don't spend all your time rolling it out and poking it out because I would rather just go a couple more times back and forth. The reason I don't do that on all of your dies, and the reason you don't want to do that is because if you're doing something like this and you roll it through and you roll it through and you roll it through and you're not holding on to all of them and they bounce it all and they squish just a fraction, then it double cuts them. And you don't want it to double cut. Or, you know, if I did that, all of these and they all moved and they're framelets and they move, then some of them are ruined. Plus, every single time you roll through, it cuts more holes into your plates. And so if you only need to roll it once, only roll it once because then it's just going to cut one. You can see that this cuts lots of holes. But in this case of my time and of your time and hating to poke things, it's worth it to me to have a couple more holes in my plates. So it's just kind of like how you decide you want to do it. So we have this. Now remember, I told you I'm using my Seal Plus. So I'm going to add some here. Because I know this is kind of where I'm going to start to bunch this stuff up. So here's, isn't that pretty? It's so pretty. So kind of lay this here, and this is going to mostly get covered up. But even if it doesn't down here, it's okay. It kind of looks like sand. So lay that there. Now I'm going to take 2 of our new ribbons. So here's all of the new ribbons I got today, and almost any of them except this green one would work. So I was kind of torn because look at this rose gold one. I almost used it. In fact, I could switch on this one. Hey, no, I want it to look just the same because it's beautiful. And what if it's not as beautiful? Although that's pretty beautiful. But on this first one, I use this new polyester ribbon, and it feels different. Like, we haven't had any ribbon that feels like this. I wish feeling was something I could give you through the camera. And this card is probably not going to look anywhere near as pretty. And I've already tried to send a picture to my girlfriends. It doesn't photograph well because of all of the different, like this is kind of holographic. This is more smooth. This is kind of, and to get all of them to look the same in the picture, it doesn't work. And then this is our natural finish ribbon. Sometimes the names, like, they're hard for me to remember because when you've had enough natural blah, blah, blah ribbons over the years, it's just hard to remember them. So I look, and then as long as something's live, then I can put the links under the video. Until it goes live, we don't have the links. So now I'm going to take, for those of you that don't like to tie bows, this is your card. Just take a little bit of seal. It has to be plus, though. The regular seal isn't going to hold this well. So first put just some down here. And then you don't want it to go flat like this. You want it to kind of twist it just a little bit so it has, so you can kind of see it that way. You do it just on top of each other, then they're both going to look exactly the same. It's easier on the small ribbon to kind of see that. Like this here. And then there. And then take one of your shells. And I'm going to put my Seal Plus here. And all this Seal Plus and sandwiching in this in here is going to hold that ribbon in. So you don't have to worry about it coming off your card. Then I'm going to get a little bit on this one. I'm going to use a dimensional. And I'm just going to use one. That way I can be able to tuck stuff down underneath it. Some of the other ones. See, there goes almost all of the little rip. So now let's look at this. There's not a whole lot on this, but the Steel Plus is such a tight adhesive that we just need to get a little bit there. You can pull out your glue if you want to, but this will hold it. Plus it also then gives it a little bit of a lift. I like that because this has the holes in it, we're not losing all that beautiful paper. And I am missing a die. There it is. And again, not a whole lot, but this seal, because it breaks off like in little sections, just roll one on. It kind of overhangs. I don't know if you can see that. Just fold it back up on there, and that's enough adhesive because it's so strong that it'll hold it on there. Push that down. And same with this. There's hardly any, but we just need to get one of those little things to pull off on here. I don't want to tear it. I'm trying to do it so you can see it. And it's on there. I just got one, so I don't even have to fold it over. Put that there. It'll lay down in a second. And then for my embellishments, this is the new iridescent pearls. These are my free gift all of May. I have additional, like I said, over catalog kickoff week, but these are all of May. So if you spend $50 with me and use my host code online on a website purchase, it doesn't include club or classes, then you get these as a thank you gift along with my VIP video projects. But they kind of have that shell, obviously pearl feeling. Isn't that pretty and so easy? So easy. I love specialty papers. They just make your art look so beautiful. And this paper, I mean, I love when the other side is as beautiful as the front side. So there's what I have for you. The links will be down underneath the video, but make sure if you aren't one of my regular customers that you have the host code. So hop over to my website. It'll be there. It'll be underneath the video. No, because the links underneath the video don't have my host code in it. Or just join my email list every day this week. I'm sending emails because every day this week I have a new video with something new for you. So have a great day, and I will catch you back here tomorrow. Bye.